class, today we're going to be discussing how to start your project for our Matisse and Fauvism unit. So the first thing that we want to do is go to Google Images. Now you can just type in images into the Google bar, or you can always go to your Omnibar and type in google.com/images. The next thing that you want to do before you get started is make sure you know what you have in mind for your living object. So this could be a person, this could be plants, this could be an animal. As long as it's a living object rather than a landscape, it is acceptable for this project. So the creature that I chose as my living object is a creature called a fennec fox. And I type that in, and look at all these cute little guys. They will be just perfect for the two different projects that I'm going to show examples of. The first, of course, being the Fauves drawing in bright colors, and the second being an Henri Matisse style cutout. So I want to find a really large image. A lot of the time what happens when you look for source images is you find images that are really, really tiny and not very helpful. So I'm going to show you how to do that first. You want to click up here at Search Tools. And after Search Tools, you want to click Size. Now, for size, you want to make sure that you at least click large, but we can go gigantic if we decide to. And that's how you go to larger than, and it gives you pixels. So this is 400 by 300, pretty good size. You could go 640 by 480, or you could even go larger. Now, when we're starting to talk 4 megapixels, that's some of the largest images that you can find. And we're going to be saving these to our drive as well as printing them. So that's very important. So I'm just going to go for it. I think I'm only going to do 2 megapixels though, rather than 4. So I'm going to click 2 megapixels. Now look at all these great choices. But right now, my usage rights aren't clear. What we always want to make sure that we do when we're making an art piece based on a source image is making sure that we have rights to the image that we're using. So just like in other projects that you've probably done in the past, we want to make sure that we click this tab here called Usage Rights. Right now, our images aren't filtered by license, and that's not good. We can unintentionally use an image that was copywritten. So what we want to do is make sure that we click this, labeled for reuse with modification, meaning that not only are we allowed to reuse this image, but we're also allowed to modify it and change it, which we'll be doing in our art project. So once we click that, you'll see that the images change. Some images we had no rights to, and we're very lucky and fortunate that we can filter and make sure that we can use one of these images. Now, if you can take a photo of an animal or a plant or something from home, that's also acceptable, and you have the rights to that image. But since I don't have access to a fennec fox and would like to do a project about a fennec fox, I'm going to choose one of these images instead. So as I'm looking, I would like to find one that has kind of a portrait feel to it, where I see all of the animal, and I can also see a lot of details in the face. So the one that I really like is right here. And I want to make sure I scroll through though to see if there aren't any other images that I think might work better. But no, I think that one is the perfect one for me. So what I'm going to do is click it, and it will bring me to the preview view. This is often where students make mistakes, is that they'll try to print right from here and the resolution of the image won't be great. What you always want to do is make sure that you click this button on the side called View Image. When you click View Image, it brings the image into a separate tab, and that lets you save that image or copy the image URL. You also know it's a large enough image where your cursor becomes this little magnifying glass with a plus sign in it. That means that you can actually click and zoom in to see even more details. And he's pretty terrific. I can see each of his little hairs. I have lots of what's called value with the shadows and highlights. And he's got really crisp lines. I think I can get a lot of personality in my Fauves project. So what you want to do now is once you have your image, the first thing you want to do is save your image to your drive. By saving your image to your drive and renaming it once it's in your drive, you will be able to easily find that image even if you accidentally lose your printed off copy. After you save it, you want to make sure you print it, and you don't have to print it in color. In fact, it would be preferable if you made sure you printed it to the library, to the black and white printer, or just printed it at home on a black and white printer. Just having black and white shows you where the colors would lay and will help you with both the drawn version and the cutout version of this project. Well, happy searching, and make sure you find those large images for class.